In this video, we're going to go over the line function as well as the style functions associated with it. So to start out, I already have my size function making my output window 500 pixels wide by 500 pixels high. I already have my background function and that code that corresponds to the color blue. Now I'm going to add some lines to this program. Before we actually write code to add these lines, we need to talk about the coordinate plane. Basically, the way we are going to add lines and later on geometric shapes to our output window is by placing them on the coordinate plane that is this output window. However, the coordinate plane on a digital display is different than the coordinate plane that you may be used to. For example, if I were to ask you where to put the origin, 0, 0, on a coordinate plane, you probably would draw me one of two pictures. You'd either say, all right, I've got 4 quadrants and 0, 0 is right in the middle. You know, these are positive numbers and these are negative numbers, and the center is 0, 0. And that's true. Or maybe you'd say, all right, maybe you only have one quadrant and it's just all the positive numbers, and 0, 0 is down here. You represent X along the horizontal axis, Y along the vertical axis, and again, I'd say true. However, with digital displays, the origin is actually not in the center, like when there's 4 quadrants, or in the lower left, like when we're representing 1 quadrant in math. In digital displays, the origin is in the upper left-hand corner. And that does take some adjustments in terms of shifting your thinking. However, I do have a little bit of good news. Okay, so this would be 0, 0. The x-axis is still, we're talking about horizontally. We represent that. That's the x-axis. Y, still the vertical axis. And all the numbers are positive. So the x value gets greater as you move to the right, and the y value gets greater as you move down. So, I'm an excellent artist. I know you know. Okay, so if this is 0, 0, if I want to place 500, 500 on this graph, it would be down in the lower right-hand corner, so that's 500, 500. Oh my gosh, painstakingly. Probably could have grabbed the text box, but oh well, too late. 500, 500. So if this is 0, 0, and this is 500, 500, what is this point right here? It is 500, 0. 500 pixels across on the x-axis and 0 pixels down. How about this point? 0, 500. 0 pixels on the x-axis, 500 pixels down on the y-axis, and right in the center of the screen would be 250, 250, 250 pixels over, 250 pixels down. So right there, 250, 250. On the Unit 1 page of the Haiku site, it's a 5, I have a really high-tech illustration that looks something like this, where I've labeled kind of approximate distances across on the axis. So you can print this out or just even pull it up. Some people find it really helpful when they're starting to visualize where things go. There's also a PDF of actual graph paper, not labeled, unfortunately. You can print that out. I think it's really helpful in the beginning to start trying to plot out, okay, if I want to place a line in a certain place, where its coordinate pair is going to be. So feel free to print those out if you need them. All right, so returning to processing. The first line I'm going to make is going to go from the upper left-hand corner, the origin, all the way down to the lower right-hand corner. The line function is line. I open a parentheses, and then the parameters that it's going to take are the x and y coordinates of the starting point of the line and the x and y coordinates of the ending point of the line. So, since I'm going from the origin all the way to the lower right-hand corner, I'm going to put in 0, 0, 500, 500. Close the parentheses, add a semicolon, So these are the x and y coordinates of the starting point of the line. These are the x and y coordinates of the ending point of the line. So if I hit play, there is the line. Lines only have, if a line, I guess it's really a line segment if we want to be technical. Since it has 2 points, it doesn't matter. Starting and ending is exactly the same. So if I changed it, 500, 500, call that the starting point, 0, 0, I get the same exact thing. I can't change the order of the x and y pairs, though. If I put 0, 500, and then 500, 0, I'm going to get something entirely different. That would be going from 0, 500, so 0 pixels down, 500 pixels across, to 500 pixels down, 0 pixels across. Spacing in processing doesn't matter. It's not particular about what we call white space. If it helps you to look at it like this, or even if you want to keep your coordinate pairs together and put a space between the pairs, if that's helpful, definitely go for that. Okay. Next, I'm going to make a line from the middle of the screen to, let's say, top of the middle of the screen, from the top all the way down to the bottom. So if I'm going to make that line, it's going to be 250 pixels on the x-axis and 0 pixels down. And then for this point down here, if it's a vertical line, I also want this point to be 250 pixels over. And in this case, I'm going to say it's 500 pixels down. Go all the way down. Vertical lines will always share an x coordinate. Horizontal lines, on the other hand, will always share a y coordinate. So maybe I'm going to make a line from 100 pixels down, 0 pixels over, to 100 pixels down over here. So I'd say 100, 0, to 100 pixels down, 500. So, oops. I made another vertical line. So let's change that around. 0 pixels over, 100 pixels down. 500 pixels over, 100 pixels down. As I said, vertical lines will always share a y, or horizontal lines will always share a y coordinate. Whew. Horizontal lines will always share a y coordinate. Your lines don't have to go all the way across the screen. If I wanted just a shorter line segment in there, I could say, I don't know, I'm approximating, let's say 75 pixels over. And that's 100 pixels down, so maybe 150 pixels down. If I wanted to make this one vertical, 75 pixels over, and I don't know, 250 pixels down. And you could just get a little line segment there. If I wanted to make a line that connects to this, I'll make it go like this way. I know the starting point of that line is going to be the ending point of this line. I already have that point. So I could say line 75 to 50, and then maybe 25 to 50. I've made this nice backwards L. So that's just an introduction to the line function.